Alright guys, I wanted to take a moment and take a few minutes of your time and go through how to work some of this. I know you're having this delivered, so I won't get a chance to go through it with you in person, so we'll just kind of do a little video walkthrough of it, showing you how to operate some stuff. And if you have questions down the road, feel free to reach out as well, but at least this way you'll be able to refer to the video or refer back to it in the future if you have if you forget something or need any assistance. Some of it will be boring, some of it hopefully educational, but if nothing else, it'll give you something to fall asleep to watching it. So let's start out in the front here. Tongue is a 2 5/16 inch, which is the largest of the three sizes. To raise it off your vehicle, you see it says up or down there, so you just hit up till it raises up and then down. And then there's a little light right here, that's for right there. In here are propane tanks. Turn them on positions just like a gas grill. Turn them to the left. I have them on now so that I can show you how to use some things. Batteries right there. It's a 12 volt deep cycle battery. This camper doesn't really require a battery. It has a built-in power converter, but you would need it for the tongue jack. Front storage compartment here. There's a rod for an awning and then the jack for the stabilizers here. It's too windy today for me to be able to show you how to use the awning, so you may need to research that if you don't know how, but there's plenty of YouTube videos on it. These stabilizer jacks here, you crank them down. You don't want to bring them all the way to the ground. You want to block your surface below it with either cinder block or pads or something. This is a little door catch, so when you open this storage compartment, that'll keep it open. Hopefully you can hear me out here with this wind. Retractable handle for getting in, and then the steps fold in. When this door opens, this latch here catches into here. With the wind, I can't do it with one hand, otherwise I'd show you. 120 volt receptacle here. Furnace here, so your exhaust comes out the middle, and then intake around the edge. I know you guys asked if I could wash it before you picked it up, but unfortunately you're picking it up a little too early. We don't have the outside plumbing put on it yet. So I'll send you this video today, and if you'd rather delay your pickup for a couple more weeks when we're going to have no temperatures below freezing, that's when we'll have our outside water hooked back up. Because it definitely is dirty from sitting. Again, bottom step, I'll try to do it with one hand to show you, but bottom step folds up, and then they're kind of stiff because they don't want them to pop out when you're going down the road, and then that folds back out. It looks like it's missing a little catch for this door. I'll see if I have one here. I'm not sure if I do. If I don't, maybe I can get one on order in time. I'll have to check the shipping on that. Those things are really brittle and they seem to break off whenever the wind catches them. Another jack in the back. If you do want to run an outside gas grill, that's what this orifice is for there. Over here we have our dump station. This is your gray water dump, and this is your black water dump there. You usually dump your black water first and then your gray water. Water heater here. Drain plug on the bottom. If we are going to have some cold temperatures still, which it's early enough in the season we might, then you'll want to go ahead and get that pulled. I can't do this with one hand, so I'll leave this hanging for now. Satellite and cable coax hookups. This is your cord. It pulls out. It's roughly 15 to 20 feet long, 30 amp electrical cord. Coming to the front here, this is your potable water fill. If you're going to go camping somewhere, that you don't have a water supply such as a well or a city water, that's where you can put water in it. Right below that would be your city water connection. In other words, somewhere that does have a hose or a water supply. That's how you would supply water to the camper. And then this drain below, you just turn this sideways, and that would be for draining out any water that's left in your fresh water holding tank. This is the other side of the storage compartment. We'll head on inside. Oops, sorry, I keep videoing my fingers. Oh, it feels much nicer in here. So when we first walk in, we have slide out controls for the two slide outs. One's for the main room and one's for the bedroom. And then we have a light switch here and then another one here. I'm not sure what each of those do, but probably outside porch lights. And then water heater switch here. So if I turn on the water heater, I just press that switch there and then I give it about a minute. It's got to go through a series of tests. Once it lights, I'm kind of listening for it as I'm talking to you to hear it light. It's got a self-lighting pilot. So you see that light go out there? That tells us the tests are complete and it's going to start lighting here shortly. Boy, I wish spring would make up its mind because it feels very wintry today. So if we look down in there, you'll see fire going. That's for your hot water heater. It takes roughly 45 minutes to an hour to heat a tank of water. You only get a few minutes of hot water out of that, so make sure your showers are quick. Usually between 4 and 5 minutes, roughly. I should say 3 and 5 minutes, depending. And then to turn it back off, just press the switch there. Speaking of water, if we come over here to the gauges, it'll tell you, so here's a water pump. That's what we're going to use right now because we're not hooked up to a hose. And then if we want to check our levels, it's showing our gauges here on the side, empty through full, battery's full. Fresh water is between 1/3 and 2/3, and then black and gray are empty because it was winterized. But I have the water pump on now, so to go ahead and run it. So did you hear that? I'm not sure if you can hear the motor or not. You hear that water pump run and then shut off. That's good news because if the fact that it's shutting off means that there's no leaks in the plumbing system. If it were to keep running, then that would mean we're either out of water or there's a leak in the plumbing. And then hot water on this side. Let me show you in the bathroom here what we got the pump on. So we got cold water there, hot water there. Toilet is a foot flush, so a quick flush for liquids, but for solids, flush it and hold it down for 4 or 5 seconds to introduce more water into the tank to help break up the solids. I'm going to try to set this in here so I don't get sprayed. So you got hot water and cold water for the bath, and then if to turn it in a shower mode, you just pull that knob up. I'm going to go turn the water pump off because we're done with the plumbing. And we'll finish up here in the bathroom. So when we first walk in, light switch is on the light, right up on top, right there. And then we have a fan switch right there, and you can crank the vent open with that crank. I'll head back over here. I have the bed in the up position just so I could access the water tank, which is under the bed. You can see it's showing about half full right now, but I am going to drain that. I'll drain it mostly all the way out. I'll leave a little bit in there. And that's first travel. You always want to drain it when you're going to travel. put that back down. You just push firmly to put it back down. It's on shocks. Light switch turned off right there, and then the other one is up here. It is a swivel mirror, so you see its mirror on this side. I guess I shouldn't have turned off the lights yet. And a TV on this side. Let me turn the light back on. And then if you want to swivel them, you can just change it. Go to whichever side you like. Some other light switches. Oops, this here is your antenna. So by turning this dial, help you find analog signal. Smoke detectors, there's a couple of them, and carbon monoxide detectors. I'll try to find them as we walk through. I always tell everybody to replace them. It does show good, but they do have life expectancies on them, so they're cheap. Just replace them for a safety aspect. Fan for the stove is right here, and then a little light underneath right there. Microwave, I'm guessing you probably know how to use that already. Refrigerator here, we have it in auto mode. It's been on for, well, since yesterday now, so it should be ice cold, which yes, it definitely is. And refrigerator here, I'm just pressing in that little middle knob as I pull to open the doors. Yep, nice and cold. And so when I'm done, I always put it in auto mode. That means it's going to use electricity first. But if you were to have a power failure, it'll automatically switch over to propane. Turn off there. Stereo here, little power button on the side. My favorite song. If you see any of these little packs laying around, they're just peppermint packs to help keep the rodents out. I think I got most of them out of here, but there might be some hidden ones. Down here is your circuit breakers. Has breakers and fuses. All your 12 amp fuses, or 12 volt fuses, and your 120 volt breakers. Good idea to keep some of those on hand, you never know. Slide out here, I'll shut off a couple of these lights because once the slide out's in, I won't be able to get back here any longer. What else we got? Some of these lights turn off with the main switch when you come in, turn it on and off. But some of them you have to turn right on the light fixture itself. So, you see right in the center, a little switch right there. Let's go through the air conditioning. It might be too cold for this to actually work, but we're going to give it a whirl. So I put it to, I don't know if you can see that. It's probably not showing up. There we go. I put it to a cool position, and then the lowest temperature it's going to get me is 55. I can kind of trick that. Let me go through fan mode here. Turn it high and then come down. Even though it's not 55, I should be able to get it to kick on, hopefully. Otherwise, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just run the furnace for a while. Or I'll actually put a heat gun on here to kind of trick it into it. But yeah, it's just too cold. It's probably only about 35 right now. So I'm going to trick that guy in a minute to get that to come on to show you. Make sure it's all good for the season. And then furnace mode is 1 below. I don't know. You probably just heard it kick on there. What it's doing when the furnace is on, it's drawing fresh air in through here. So the furnace is behind this compartment. It's got a self-lighting pilot. You probably just heard that light. And then if we come over here to the floor ducts, it takes a few minutes. I can already feel it getting warm, but the colder it is outside, the longer it takes to get the hot air coming out of here. So as I'm shutting that off, you're still going to hear it run. So it's going to run for a minute now, roughly. It's going through a series of tests, blowing out the propane out of the system, clearing everything out, just for safety purposes. So we'll hear it shut off here shortly. In the meantime, we'll try to light these. I forgot my barbecue grill lighter, so we'll cross our fingers that the sparker works. Otherwise, I'll grab a lighter. Just turn this to light position. And you'll notice on here, it shows you which burner it's lighting. It actually lit. They usually don't, so that's good. Light there. And the last one here. Wow, impressive. Let's see what light switches we can shut off here. Must be missing one. I thought there would be a switch for your main lights, but it might just be on the light itself. And it looks like they all do have switches right on them, so that's probably the case. And I'm just kind of buying time, waiting for the furnace to shut down before I pull the... Oh, actually it just did shut down. So that's actually the air conditioning that's running. So that... It was warm enough. Let me try to... Yep, it's in cool mode. Set to 55. So when the air conditioning's on, this here is the intake. So some people put their hand here. No, you're not going to feel any air coming out of here. This is where it's sucking it in. And then you have a foam filter in there that you need to keep clean. You blow it out every couple of weeks during the summertime. And if I come over here, this is where I got the nice cold air coming out, and it's freezing. Perfect. So then to shut that off, we'll just go through here and again cycle down until, it's so hard to see with this, until the screen goes black, and then you have it off there. Keys are hanging on the faucet here. Separate key, front door to the back door. And then the little silver key is for your outdoor storage compartments and outdoor shower, etc. I think that is it aside from the slide outs. Before I operate the slide outs, I try to turn off all of the lights, so there's less draw on the 12 volt system. Not as big of a deal if you're plugged into power. I'm going to leave one or two on just so I can see what I'm doing here. And then I come over to the switch. Again, I always do a walk around first to make sure it's not going to hit any obstructions. Same thing before I put them out. I'll come over here. I'm going to do the bedroom one first because otherwise I won't be able to see it coming in. But if you look way through the hallway into the back room, you'll see the room getting smaller. That's because the slide out is retracting. All the way until it straightens itself out like that, and hear that different noise. And then I go over to the one next to it, the first one, and that will be this one here. You see it lift up out of that pocket and retract inward. Oh my god, this video has been 20 minutes long almost already. I apologize. I know it was probably really exciting, but hopefully it helps you in the future. One thing to point out, you want to make sure this is closed, because as you'll see, if I had it open more, it would rip it right off when we brought that slide out in. So we'll keep bringing it in all the way till we hear the clicking noise. That's it. Alright guys, that should be it. Again, congratulations. Hopefully you get plenty of time to use it, and if you have any questions in the future, I'm here to help.